which he announces that he is indeed a candidate for the presidency of the United States. Final introduction was made by Shirley Chisholm, who in her own way broke the ice for Jesse Jackson back in 1972, when the former Congresswoman was herself a candidate for the presidency. We've heard 16 other people so far address this crowd of about 2,500 very partisan people. They are the members of what Jesse Jackson calls his Rainbow Coalition. It is not just blacks, it is women. He has pledged to have a woman run with him as vice president. It's Hispanics, the Freeze Movement, it's Indians, the National Farmers Alliance. It is Jesse Jackson's Rainbow Coalition, and that's what we are about to hear about. This may take a little time to get started. The crowd has repeatedly broken into chants here, Jesse, and run, Jesse, run. And run he will. This is Jesse Jackson, about to announce that he is the 8th Democratic candidate for the nomination, the Democratic nomination for the presidency.
Thank you. We want to express, they'll get down in time. We want to express particular thanks to Mayor Marion Barrett, the host of this great occasion, and the people of Washington, D.C. Let's give Marion Barrett a big hand. My friend and sister who we asked to chair this event today to help organize it, Sister Wilhelmina Rolock. To the esteemed chairman of this crusade for justice and liberation, our senior mayor, Mayor Richard Gordon Hatcher. To the preacher's preacher, the prophet who tells the story and preaches an unadulterated gospel, who did so much to convene ministers around this nation while this drive was in its formative stages, Bishop H.H. Brookins. I wish all the ministers who are present would stand wherever you are. Please stand. My own pastor, Reverend Evans. Other ministers, Minister Farrakhan. Give them a hand, won't you please? Reverend Ralph David Abernathy. P.W. Smith. To my own family, which has for so many years taken a rather backseat relative to media exposure that has been necessary for the development of 5 children. With us on this occasion today, since this is such a family affair involving every dimension of one's life and one's family, present today is my wife, Jacqueline. And keep standing. Keep standing, Jackie. And my oldest daughter, student at Howard University, Santita. My son, Flash of St. Albans, Jesse Jackson, Jr. And Jonathan Luther Jackson. And Yusef Du Bois Jackson. And my own very special baby, Jackie Jackson. Yeah, come on forward. Come forward. They want you to come forward for a moment. Where's Jesse? You, sir?
Is it all right if we wait?
Also blessed in a very special way today, present with me from Greenville, South Carolina, is my mother, Helen Jackson. And my grandmother, Matilda Burns. My brother, Chuck Jackson.
Jesse Jackson is warming up for his full announcement statement here. This is a family affair for the Jackson families. He has introduced his children, his 5 children, his wife, his mother. Special tribute to all the ministers in the audience. He will be making a formal announcement after Jesse Jackson gets through these preliminaries. That particular speech will take about 20 minutes. It will contain the standard clause that I seek the presidency and just why Jesse Jackson does that. It has taken some time for Jesse Jackson to get to this point. In declaring his candidacy, people have been anticipating it, wondering, asking the question, will Jesse run, for months now? But there is no doubt left. The sign above Jesse Jackson's head says Jesse Jackson, President, 84. And with the statement now about to come, that campaign is underway.
Today is Thursday, November 3rd. 1 year and 3 days from the November 6, 1984 national elections. This day we gather strangely exuberant and hopeful amid so much chaos, confusion, despair, and pain. We sense that we are part of a special moment in history, pregnant with possibility. We courageously press forward, for we dare not abort this moment. We are destined to redirect the course of this nation, and we shall. We have
there's been a slight disturbance in the hall to Jesse Jackson's right. A large security crowd here, a number of policemen. One man shouted out and was taken quickly outside the door. Disturbance quieted, and shouts from the audience said, "Carry on, Jesse."
Have directed us to this station today. We're here to heed the call of this nation's highest and noblest principles, that we might fulfill our mission to defend the poor, make welcome the outcast, deliver the needy, and be the source of hope for people yearning to be free everywhere. Today we are here that we might fulfill the promise of democracy and assure equal protection under the law and equal regard within the law for all, that we might serve the ends of justice and lift those votes.
Take him on out of here! Get him out of here! Get him out of here! Get him out!
This drive to freedom, is not a straight road. It is not an easy road. We've come too far to be turned back now. Keep your eyes on the prize. Let nothing and nobody turn you around. We're here today that we might lift those boats that are stuck on the bottom, full of unpolished pearls, that we might elevate the common lot of humanity and build a new functional rainbow coalition spanning lines of color, sex, race, religion, region, and national origin, that we might set a new moral tone and usher in a reconciling spirit, that we might encourage, motivate, and assist thousands to run for public office at every level: mayor, judge, school board, registrar, tax assessor, sheriff, Congress, that we might urge millions to register and exercise their franchise. We do this to the end that the same vote in a democracy, under the one person, one vote provision, is the master key to all doors, from the State House to the courthouse to the White House. Throughout the history of this nation, the trumpet of conscience has summoned persons of conviction to the plateau of duty to accept the challenge, to provide that quality of distinctive leadership that seeks to ensure that our cherished principles are not compromised, and that justice, equality, freedom, and liberty remain heritage and reality of all. Ralph Waldo Emerson perhaps expressed the spirit best when he declared, "When duty whispers low, thou must, the youth replies, I can." Mindful of the urgency of our times, I stand before you to acknowledge that after deep reflection, the voice of duty has whispered, thou must. I rise to declare that I can, and announce to you this day my decision to seek the nomination of the Democratic Party for the presidency of the United States.
Legal.
I embark upon this course with a sense of inner confidence. I offer myself to the American people not as a perfect servant, but a public servant. I offer myself and my service as a vehicle to give a voice to the voiceless, representation to the unrepresented, and hope to the downtrodden. The many questions have surrounded the decision that I make today, and many views have been expressed. These questions are well known, and in my view, deflect attention from the only important question for America today. That question was posed by Ronald Reagan when he ran for the office he now holds. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago?